Hey, this is Rick Kasalich, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, I wanted to go through the 3 must-do back pain relief exercises for women. And I'll get Andrea to demonstrate the first one, then I'll go through in detail, and then I'll show you the other exercises to do. There we go. So that ends up being the first one, legs on a chair. So you can include this in the 3 or you can not include it. I didn't. So this is kind of like where you start and this is where you kind of like warm up with things. Now, well, not necessarily warm up, but more set the stage to get the most out of the back pain exercises that I'm going to go through with you. So you're lying down on your back and your legs are on, it could be the couch or the chair. Hands are to the side, you're relaxed through the body, you're looking straight up at the ceiling, and then along with this, and the reason why I get you in this position, because it ends up being in a low stress position. So you can have your feet on the ground, and that ends up being a low stress position, but what makes it even less stress is if you have something supporting your legs. So then there's even less stress that goes through your spine and the muscles. So a lot of times with back pain, we end up having this vicious cycle of back pain, tension, so there's an increase. So back pain ends up leading to more tension in the muscles in the hips and pelvis and low back area, and that increase in tension leads to more back pain, and then more back pain leads to more tension. So what we want to do is kind of break that cycle, and we can do that with this, by legs on the chair, resting, and being in this position, but also adding breathing. So you'd end up adding breathing to this. So you'd breathe in, big belly breath, so have the air move down into your stomach, and then breathe out. And when you breathe out, you're blowing out the tension in your back, pelvis, hip area, and also blowing out the pain. When it comes to this position, I'd suggest being in it for like 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and then we move on into the actual exercise that I get you to do. So you bring your legs off, you scooch back, and then we're going to do the knees rocking side to side. So you're lying on your back, hands to the side, palms on the ground, heels together, knees together, and then you're going to rock the knees from like 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, back to 12 to 11, and then you can go further. You can go to 2 o'clock and to 10 o'clock, and just kind of rocking back and forth. And what we're working on is lightly stretching low back, pelvis area, the muscles around there, and then also kind of working on the mobility, so improving the movement in the joints in the hips, pelvis, low back area. When it comes to sets, reps, time, and intensity, I'm going to get you to 1 set. I'm going to get you to 5 repetitions each way, so a total of 10. When it comes to time, smooth, controlled movement with a good stop at each of the end positions, so a second or 2. Intensity, we're looking for light stretch, light dynamic stretch, and light mobility in the pelvis, hip, low back area. So that ends up being, we'll call it the first exercise. The second one ends up being open and close. So you're lying on your side, you're bent in the knees, you're bent in the hips, arms are straight out, and then you're going to open up, bring that top hand, try to lay it flat on the floor, holding this position for a second or 2, and then come back down to the starting position. So with this, what we're working on is we're working on the mobility side of things. So with the first exercise, we anchored the upper body and we moved the lower body. Now we're anchoring the lower body and we're moving the upper body. And here we're working on the mobility in the mid-back. We're stretching out the sides of the back. And then also you might end up feeling a light stretch in the front of the shoulder, and that's perfectly normal. So with this one, we are also similar as we did in the first one, working on mobility, so movement in that spine and back area, and then also stretching out that spine and the back area. When it comes to sets, reps, and time and intensity, I'm going to get you 1 set, 5 repetitions, time, smooth, controlled movement with a good stop at each of the end positions, so a second or 2 at each of the end position. And intensity, we're looking for light stretch and light mobility movement happening in the shoulders, mid-back, low back area, and it can be in the pelvis and the hip area as well. Now moving to the third and last one of the must-do back pain relief exercises specifically for women, and this ends up being the press-up. And in a second I'll kind of explain why I get women to do these. exercises compared to other ones. So you're lying down, you're nice straight with your legs, hips, shoulders, and head. You're pressing up, you're arching through the back, mid-back, low back, and then coming back down. So really working on the mobility. So from a lot of technology we do in sitting, we tend to end up being rounded forward. That ends up leading to more back pain. So now we're kind of countering that and going the opposite way and working on arching through that mid-back and specifically through that low back area. When it comes to sets, reps, and time of this one, you're going to end up doing 1 set. You're going to do 5 repetitions. And the intensity ends up being, or the time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the top of the movement. And the intensity, you're looking for a light stretch, more mobility throughout that spine. And then 2 other things. So let's say with this one, Andrea's got really good range of motion. If you're not able to go that far, go to the point that you can, to the point you get resistance. It might be to here, and then you come back down. That's perfectly fine. And with each of the repetitions, try to end up going a little bit further, like each of the 5 repetitions. So that ends up being the 3 must-do back pain relief exercises for women. Now I wanted to explain why I specifically picked these exercises or give these to women, because it ends up targeting areas that women tend to be tight or have poor movement or tight muscles when they end up having back pain. So when it comes to the knees rocking side to side, a lot of times women end up having tightness and poor mobility in the hips, pelvis, and low back area, and that exercise ends up targeting it. The open and close, a lot of times women end up having a lot of tightness in the muscles and poor movement or mobility in that mid-back area. So that exercise ends up targeting that issue that women have when it comes to back pain. And then thirdly, the press up, it's countering that forward movement that a lot of us end up having, especially with females, especially if you end up doing a lot of sitting and a lot of technology work. So there you go. Give those 3 must-do back pain relief exercises for women a go. Now, if you want some of my other tips and tricks when it relates to relieving back pain, then click right here. I have a brand new free report called 5 Tricks That Fight Back Pain and Tightness. Click right here. Let me know where to send that brand new free report, and I'll send you that brand new free report right away. Now, if you're watching this on a mobile device, tablet, smartphone, head down below in the description and click the first link, which will end up being exercisesforinjuries.com/backs. Let me know where to send that report, and I'll send you that report right away. Now, from this video, if you got benefit from it, please like this video. If you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the description area. And then lastly, hit subscribe in order to get future pain relieving videos.